Kentucky's Safe at Home Act took effect. It's an expansion of a program aimed at removing barriers for survivors of domestic violence to protect their addresses.
While Secretary of State Michael Adams is pleased with the participation so far, he says that the state still has a ways to go.
For years, Kentucky domestic violence survivors have had the option to hide their addresses from voter rolls. But Secretary of State Michael Adams says the policy was too limited to do much good at all.
But that wasn't enough. And so we found that only about 31 people had even used that program in the prior decade.
Enter the expanded Safe at Home Act. Passed in early 2023, it's been in effect for 6 months now.
We've actually seen now membership in this program nearly triple.
The legislation addresses three main barriers for survivors: expanding address protections across government, establishing reciprocity with other states, and removing the requirement to have an emergency protective order.
Well, a lot of folks in this situation, they don't want to have to hire a lawyer and go to court. They don't want to have to face their abuser in a courtroom, and sometimes they don't even know who's stalking them.
Center for Women and Families President Elizabeth Martin says many survivors struggle with trust, discouraging them from registering to vote. Being able to do that safely and start living a more public life is crucial.
Having them be able to get their important documents and be able to get jobs, get their IDs, and all the things that they need to move towards independence. Again, that's another win.
The center can shelter around 80 people at a time. 80 people who may not already know what's now available.
My ultimate vision is that we successfully, those that leave us, who go on to their next home, complete these packets, that they fill out and they have these addresses.
6 months in, Adams says 55 people are now protecting their addresses, tripling program membership. But Kentucky has one of the highest rates of domestic violence in the country.
I think we'll go from 55 to into the hundreds and over time into the thousands.
So Adams says this very public push for private protection is far from over.
If you need address protection, the application for the Safe at Home program can be found on the Secretary of State's website. And if you or someone you know is in help, call the center's hotline at 844-237-2331 anytime.